Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mamas at Home. My name is Tierra Larae, and as you can see, I'm currently standing in my kitchen. Now, you've never seen this angle of my kitchen, and that was very intentional for a few particular reasons that I'm going to share with you. And I'm saying this because I just recently learned a very valuable lesson. And as I was sitting down, kind of reflecting over it, I thought this may be something that someone else could benefit from, something that I felt I needed to share with you guys, and also a moment of vulnerability for me. So, I have never filmed in this direction of my kitchen because for the longest time I hated my kitchen and I didn't want anybody to see it. So, just a little context and some background story. Over a year and a half ago, I was living in a house that I loved with a beautiful kitchen, granite countertops, beautiful dark wooden cabinets. It was a perfect kitchen. It had all this counter space. I loved my kitchen. And I would always film in it. I would take pictures of it because I really enjoyed the kitchen that I was in. But then life happened, tragedy struck, and I lost a very big part of myself, which one day I may discuss here. It's something I've kind of been working my way up to. But my family took a significant loss, and as a result, life had to change, and I found myself in a situation where I had to downgrade, and I did not take it well. I moved into a townhouse that whether or not, I don't know if I really verbalized the fact that I hated it, but I strongly disliked it because it was nothing like where I was. It didn't look the same. It was not aesthetically pleasing. It didn't have the look that you see on social media and so many different videos. So I was uncomfortable about filming and sharing it because I hated my cabinets and, my appliances were no longer steel and just all these different things, to where I was like, well, I'm just going to film from a certain direction so that they can't see my kitchen, out of embarrassment, but more so just out of something I was struggling with internally, because there was a deep anger about the change in my life and the change in my situation that reflected to how I treated my home and how I presented it onto, social platforms on YouTube and whatnot. But it wasn't until I almost lost it. It wasn't until life almost took another drastic turn and I was getting ready to lose my home that my eyes opened and my perspective changed. I found myself walking through here in a panic, trying to figure out what it was I was going to do. And I remember praying to the Father, like, Father, okay, if you let me keep this place, if you let me keep it, I will pour into it. I will make it look more like home. I will make it look as best as I possibly can. I will take better care of it. If you just let me keep it, I will appreciate it. And oftentimes we find ourselves in situations where we don't really realize, and it's cliche, but it's the truth. We don't really realize what we have until it's gone or until it's almost gone. And once I had that panic that I was getting ready to lose the house that I felt like I hated, I saw it different. I was walking into my living room and walking into different parts of the house. Like, I could do this, I could add this. This will make it look really nice. I can change this around, move this around to make it feel even more like home, because I was neglecting my space. Was I cleaning it? Sure. But I wasn't putting the amount of love into it that I could to really make it feel like home and to make it look as best as I could with what I had. Sometimes I feel like the Most High does certain things to give us perspective, because we often don't realize just how blessed that we are, even with the things that we do have, even if we feel like we don't want them. So many of us are blessed beyond measure that we can't see it because we're always comparing what we have to what's on social media. Well, they have stainless steel appliances. I want stainless steel appliances. They have this kind of kitchen. I want this kind of kitchen. They have this kind of house. I want that. I want this kind of house. And because we're always seeing something that's bigger and better, we find ourselves in a situation feeling like what we have isn't good enough. When what you have is good enough, and it may just be good enough for the moment. I'm not saying that you can't aspire and dream to have more. I have my dream house and my dream kitchen. And I deeply feel like at some point I will have my dream kitchen. But if I can't appreciate and thrive in and be content in what I have now, why then would I be blessed with something better? I can't even take care of this. So who's to say, if I can't take care of this because I'm always looking at something better, when I get into the place that I think I want and something better is put in front of me, it's never going to be enough. Where you are right now is never going to be enough for you if you cannot learn contentment. And I remember my dad used to quote Luke 16:10, which says, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much." And I remember he used to say, if you can't be a good steward of the little that you have, whether it's finances, whether it's your home, whatever it is, if you cannot be a good steward with what you have when it's small, you're not going to be a good steward with what you have when it's big, and you will not be giving more because you're not ready. You're not in a position to receive whatever it is that is. So as I was thinking on this, a scripture that had popped into my mind was Philippians 4:11-13, which says, "I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength." So I start thinking about, when I think about, for example, my kitchen, it wasn't good enough for me. I don't like the counter. I don't like the cabinets because it wasn't the expensive wood cabinets that I had. But I don't know what it looks like in here, so don't judge me right now. But this is the real. Everything ain't always the way we want it to be. But when I open my spice cabinet, it's full. When I turn on my oven, it works. I'm able to store food in this white refrigerator and freezer to feed my family. And I have tons of spices to make our food taste good. It's like he's given me what I needed to be the homemaker, and to be the nurturer and to take care of my family. I have what I need. The things that I want are merely just aesthetically pleasing, and there's nothing wrong with wanting better. But the problem is when you start looking at what you have as though it's not good enough, when he's giving you and provided you what you need to survive. Not to say that he will not give us the desires of our heart, because he can and he will if he sees fit, but don't lose sight of what actually matters and what is actually important. I can feed my family with this white stove. Our food is chilled in this refrigerator. We have plenty of dishes to eat off of. The kitchen works. It's practical. I can wash my dishes in the dishwasher and I have a sink and water that works. And I think that we need more people to not hide when we feel like our content may not look like other people's content, because my kitchen doesn't look like a lot of the kitchens that I see on TikTok, and my kitchen doesn't look like a lot of the kitchens that I see on YouTube. But a lot of people's kitchens don't look that way. A lot of us have regular standard brown cabinets and white refrigerators and white stoves. It is what it is, and that is okay. We shouldn't feel ashamed that we have been blessed with things that we need in order to survive. Now, my whole point of this is saying you don't necessarily have to be in content, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be stagnant, but it's understanding and being okay with the season of which you're in. Because I think of Ecclesiastes 3:1, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. There's a time for everything. It may not be your time yet to have the house and the kitchen you want, if that time comes, but learn contentment. And I kid you not, I have walked through this home with a completely different attitude, a completely different outlook. So I'm like, I'm not going to continue to hide the blessing that I have been given because I have a place to stay and it's warm. This is our home. To me, that's almost like a slap in the face in a certain level of ungratefulness, that I feel like I have to hide the blessing that even this place was. Sure, I have been brought to a lower estate. It happens. But I feel like the best way for me to elevate at some point, which I deeply do feel like I will, is to be fully grateful and appreciative of what the Father has blessed us with, has blessed my family with, and to continue to pour into it. So now, when I get to a point where I can build out our basement and turn it into our movie theater / family room / classroom, that's what I'm going to do. I have things that I can see now that I want to do with my living room, and things that I can do to make the kitchen look better, but still appreciating it for what it is and just adding onto it and being a good steward and nurturing and cultivating the home that we have. I don't want to keep you guys for too long. I just really wanted to speak to those of you who, even if you may not have realized it into this video, to those who are being ungrateful and who don't realize the blessings that they have around them, who don't realize what you have been giving and how much worse it can be. Because I didn't realize until I almost didn't have a home just how much I actually needed to value and appreciate the home that we have. And one day, if I am blessed with the home that I want and the kitchen that I want, I will have already learned how to nurture and appreciate the lower state that I am in. I feel like I have a much better chance of also appreciating what I'm given, because as I've said before, if you are someone who is always, well, when I get to this point, I'll be fine. Or when I get to this point, I'll be happy. Or when I get here, I'll look at things differently. 9 out of 10, that's not going to be the case, because that is already your mindset. What you have is never going to be good enough, no matter what you're given. And that's something that needs to be corrected, even if you're in a place in life that isn't the best and it is exactly what you want. Learn to be content. Happiness is a choice. It's something you choose. Happiness is not something that you can really get from external sources. You have to choose joy, to choose gratefulness, and to choose happiness. That is completely up to you. Life is quite literally, to quote my good sis Hannah Montana, life is quite literally what you make it. Your home is what you make it. It may not look the way you want it to, but you can make it look better. There's things you can add to it. Get on Pinterest, get on YouTube. I'll probably start doing some things here on this channel to show kind of how I may be making my home look better with where I am. And that way, if I'm able to be bold and confident standing in this kitchen, I think that testimony will be much stronger when I get to the place that I'm trying to be, and when I get to the life that I'm attempting to build for my family, because you can see where I started from, and I'll never forget where I started from. I can see how, a lot of things that happened in my life these past few years. I can see why it happened the way it happened, because of how much it has grown me to even stand here and have this conversation with you, because I didn't feel that way 2 months ago. I understand that all things are done for our good. I get it, and I can see that now. My dad used to always say, hindsight is always 2020. I understand it now. I understand why it needed to be this particular place. And I think that this is the beginning of a journey for me. So I wanted to be completely open and honest and transparent with you guys, because as I learn things, I want to share it with you all, because I think we can all learn from each other. And I think that it can be very helpful. I want to leave you guys with Psalms 37, verses 4-5. Take delight in Adonai, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit everything you do unto him. Trust him, and he will help you. If you do have a life that you want, and you have things that you aspire to, things that you want to accomplish, just don't forget what's most important. Don't forget who matters, and don't forget the order in which things need to be done. Trust in the Most High. Do all things unto him, and he will give you the desires of your heart. This is just the beginning step for me, but I'm going to love on and appreciate the gift that he has given me in the home for myself and my children, and continue to work and cultivate the life that I want. Because a lot of times we'll sit back and feel like, well, I want this or I want that, but then we're doing nothing to achieve it. We've put no plan in place, no strategy in place, nothing to actually accomplish the things that we want. So we just sit here in a place of not being content and being unhappy and being ungrateful, but then also not putting in the work and having the right heart posture to actually receive the things that we feel like we desire. You want that kitchen, you want certain things, but have you actually taken the right steps to achieve or to receive the things it is that you want? Faith without works is dead. It takes work. Get up on your feet, get moving, let's get the stuff done. And then you'll be surprised on what you're rewarded with. But before you can be given that, you have to be in the right place mentally, I feel, and spiritually to receive certain blessings. Otherwise, you may find yourself squandering said blessings. I really wanted to share that with you all, because I feel like it's something very important. It's something that we need to begin discussing more. That spirit of comparison, always comparing, will lead to unhappiness, ungratefulness, and a lack of content. And if we are trying to move forward and accomplish things, there is no place for that spirit of comparison. I hope this video has helped someone as much as it helped me. I think that's something definitely important that needed to be shared, because I see so many of us on TikTok and on YouTube and all these different things feeling like our life isn't good enough because we always see somebody living a better life than us. You have no idea what those people are going through. You have no idea the amount of work it took for them to get there. You have no idea how they achieve those blessings. If they're blessings, you don't know. Focus on your life, your circumstances, what you could be doing better, what steps you need to take to get it to where it is you're trying to be. And never forget to keep the Most High first in all things. I really look forward to talking to you guys again. If you have not already liked and subscribed, please do. I love having you guys here. I love the community that we're building here, and I'm looking forward to so many more conversations, and I will see you all next time. Bye.